Deepening a marriage has a lot to do with inviting closeness and going into new territory together, being more receptive to the other person and more open to exploring who you are together, talking about things that are vulnerable and letting the other person see you more deeply and being willing to see them and not judge them. There are also key moments to deepen a marriage or a relationship. If someone makes a mistake, it's already made, so that's not the moment to criticize them about it or to teach them a lesson. And it's so powerful to utilize those moments that they'll always remember that you were generous to them. I remember my parents telling a story when they were dating, and they were poor and hippies, and they were hiking in Colorado, and my mom left her retainer, which was like a super big expense for them, at the last place they stopped for lunch. And then they had like hiked 8 hours, and a storm was coming, and it was starting to rain. They were trying to put up the tent, and then she realizes she's forgotten this, and she's just dating my dad. She's so scared to tell him because, it's the last thing you want to say. But how much it meant to her in that moment when she finally got up the guts to say, oh my gosh, I left my retainer down at where we stopped for lunch. And that, that she didn't see my dad bat an eye. His face looked open, accepting, like, okay, no problem. You keep setting up the tent. I'm on it. And he ran down the mountain to get it. And, those moments where someone could shame us and they don't are so incredible for building trust and closeness that I think, keeping your eyes out for those key moments in your relationship can really catapult the relationship to the next level, to just be over the top loving in a moment where you see your partner is vulnerable or needs something. Really looking, if your partner makes a mistake, that's a moment to resist your impulse to point it out and instead to cover it over, because they'll see that you're doing that, and to smooth it over, just like you would if, you were protecting them from in public and covered over their mistake. But if you're doing that at home too, they can really just feel that someone supports them, and has their back and isn't going to point out their flaws when they take a misstep. Lack of responsiveness is the number one most dysregulating thing to people's nervous system. So marriages often fail because of stonewalling, when people start to ignore each other or don't respond to little bids for attention. And I have so many clients that it hurts so bad when they're starting to date and then someone just disappears and doesn't say, hey, I didn't really like you. I mean, that would be nothing compared to the pain of just, honesty or the pain of disappearing. So responsiveness, people make little bids for attention, like reading the newspaper, like a little chuckle, and looking for those moments. They're not just over there chuckling. They're saying, I just read something interesting. And it matters so much if you say, what was so funny? What did you read? And then it's like, you're not just echoing around. There's a bid for attention and it's responded to. So noticing little things like that in your partner and following up so they feel like someone's responding to them is so powerful.